You're now tuning in live with DMEG Radio. Danni Gyrl live. Couch Conversations. Let's go! Couch Conversation with Danni Gyrl live. DMG Radio on fire. You listen and ride where you hear the hottest underground and independent music. Tune in with Couch Conversations where they talk about it. No, it ain't the Breakfast Club. It's Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. No, it ain't the Breakfast Club. It's Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Killer. DMG Radio. Danni Gyrl live. Couch Conversation. You know what it is. Monsters.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Couch Conversation. I am your host, Danni Gyrl. I am happy to be here with y'all tonight. Y'all let me know if the sound is okay. I know last week you could hear me, but it had an echo in it. So I tried to get that fixed tonight. So y'all let me know if y'all could hear me. And I'm going to try to keep up with these comments. I'm going to try really, really hard to keep up with these comments. I know a couple of them got away from me last week. So, yeah, I'm going to try to keep up. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I am happy to be back with another episode for y'all. This one is a good one. And we've talked about it a few times. And it seems to be a conversation that y'all want to continue to have. So as long as y'all want it, we can have it. Tonight we will be talking about narcissism, aka Narcissism 101. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning because this is a conversation that we've had a few times on the show over the last few seasons. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. We're going to start at the beginning. We're going to talk about what is narcissism, the different types of narcissism, also about being supply and different types of supply. These are the questions I get from y'all. So basically, I'm going to answer the questions that I get from y'all tonight. A few people wanted to know about gaslighting and love bombing. So we're going to get into narcissistic tactics and, narcissistic manipulation tactics. We're going to get into that. And I just hope y'all enjoy the show. If y'all have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments for me so that I can see them. One second. Got some feedback. Trying to make sure I can have access to the comments. Okay, so yeah. If y'all have any comments, drop them in the chat and I'll make sure that I get to them. But I want to get into the conversation. Before I do, I want to give a trigger warning on this chat. This is a conversation that could be a little touchy for some people. So I want to give a trigger warning. Absolutely. And as you can see, I have one. Let me see. Is it scrolling on the screen? If it's not, I'm going to make it scroll on the screen. Because we do have a trigger warning for y'all. Oh, here we go. Right here. I want to make sure that I have that available. And like I said, thank y'all for tuning in for this conversation. And we going to get into it. Let me make sure. Let me go back to my script. I appreciate the people that have acknowledged that I have been trying to be more organized on the show and that I've been doing a script and just been trying to be more organized and detailed with the information. I appreciate y'all for noticing because, I've been trying to be as informative as I can with some of these chats that we have, especially this one. So, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So tonight's conversation is for anybody that has ever felt like they are emotionally drained, confused, or questioned what they are experiencing is really love. We are going to talk about what a lot of people experience, but a lot of people really don't know that they're experiencing or don't know how to identify, and that is narcissism. If you're dealing with a narcissistic partner, some people are dealing with narcissistic parents. Um, through my narcissistic studying and deep diving and talking to my therapist about a lot of the stuff that I've been deep diving on, I found that I'm a narcissist over my life, and that I have grown up with narcissists. And I'm not saying nobody in my immediate family. Don't y'all be calling my mom or my daddy talking about I said they're narcissists. That's not what I'm saying. But some of the people around me are narcissists. The most important thing that I want to say tonight is this is for educational purposes only. This is not to diagnose anybody. We are discussing patterns. We don't want to label anybody. I'm sharing from my experiences and my deep dives. And if you need to protect your peace while listening, please do so. This conversation may stir emotions for some of you who are healing or experiencing some type of emotional abuse, or physical. So I wanted to make sure that I give a trigger warning on this. And I want y'all to know I'm not trying to diagnose nobody. I really want y'all to understand that this is all for educational purposes and trying to just make y'all aware and help y'all out. And shout out to Apostle Shaquan Higgins. I got my So Blessed Creations candle burning. Y'all know I had my candle burning last week and it smells so good in here. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I can see y'all comments. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Now, narcissism. Uh-oh. Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Charles. How you doing, Mr. Brickmore? Narcissism exists on a spectrum of personality traits. And we're going to get into that. And we're going to talk about what narcissism is and is not. Because a lot of people that I have been talking to over the last few weeks about this subject have been telling me that people have been calling them a narcissist, and they are nowhere near that. Okay? So I need y'all to understand what narcissism is and is not. So narcissism is an excessive focus on self. It is a lack, these are the personality traits of narcissism. Let me just say that. The excessive focus on self, a lack of empathy for others, a need for admiration or control constantly, difficulty with accountability, and fragile self-esteem, but outward confidence. Did y'all get that? I'm going to say it one more time. An excessive focus on self, a lack of empathy for others, a need for admiration or self-control. Basically, okay? Difficulty with accountability, and fragile self-esteem, but outward confidence. And some people have these things and they're not narcissists. They just are over the top, just over the top people. There's a lot of over the top people. And, okay, let me see who else in the comments. All right, I got y'all now. It's a lot of over the top people that just exude confidence, and some people are arrogant, but that is not necessarily narcissism. Narcissistic traits and behaviors is when people have many of these at the same time. So if they have several of these at the same time. Narcissism is not self-confidence. It is not leadership skills. It is not self-care. It is not setting boundaries, and it is not knowing your worth. Those are all things that people say are narcissistic tendencies, and they're not. I really want to get into the types of narcissism. That's something that we have never the show. So I want to get into that as well. Okay, so there are 4 types of narcissists. 4. There are 4 types of narcissists. So we're going to get into what those 4 are. The first one is a grandiose narcissist. And I want y'all to figure things out, but please don't label nobody. Just figure some stuff out about the person that you're dealing with that you assume is a narcissist. You can't really label people because actual narcissistic personality disorder or NPD has to be diagnosed. So a lot of these people, we just gonna say they toxic, okay? A grandiose narcissist is overtly arrogant, dominates conversation, has a sense of entitlement, seeks admiration and control, and often initially charismatic. So this is a person that would be overtly arrogant, somebody that when you're talking to them, you can't get a word in edgewise in the conversation. They feel entitled to things, not necessarily that they earn, and they often start off really charming and really sweet, really they come off a little superior as well. A little superior. Okay? So that is a grandiose narcissist. A covert narcissist is someone who appears humble or wounded, and they have a victim mentality. They are very passive aggressive. They use guilt and emotional withdrawal, and highly sensitive to criticism. A lot of times they will act like they are a martyr in certain situations, but the victim mentality is one that is very big. That victim mentality and the appearance of being wounded all the time, the passive aggressive conversations, those things I am highly familiar with. Okay, we're going to get to a malignant narcissist. Somebody that combines narcissism with cruelty. Somebody they may enjoy controlling you or punishing you. Hey, Big Mama. Somebody that gaslights you intentionally, and we're going to get into what gaslighting is. Somebody that might be vindictive when you question or challenge them. Usually they have a high-risk personality. Usually this type of person really, really needs some help. They need to be diagnosed. They need to seek help. They need to be helped with their toxicity. A lot of these people that are malignant narcissists usually end up turning into abusers, physical abusers. Because if you've been here before, you know narcissists are emotional, spiritual, mental abusers. But they will turn into physical abusers. Communal and spiritual narcissists was the 4th type that I really wanted to tap on. This is something that I see a lot in Black churches. Y'all know we've been talking about taboo church talk. This is something I see a lot of in Black churches, and that is a spiritual or communal narcissist. They use faith, generosity, or service to gain praise. They need to be seen as good, holy, or selfless, and they need to be image driven. So I'm going to tell y'all something, and this is just my personal opinion. I feel like a lot of pastors, mainly megachurch pastors, but I feel like a lot of pastors are narcissists. And the reason I say that is because, or spiritual narcissists, let me be specific with that, spiritual narcissists. And the reason that I say that is because a lot of them use faith or generosity to gain praise. They'll do something and then they want everybody to see it as these good deeds that they did, and they want all this praise for what they did. And they need to be seen as good, or they need to be seen as holy, and they're not as such. The church, the black church, and I'm being very specific with this, the black church has a lot of spiritual narcissists. And I'm going to keep saying that because I just wholeheartedly believe that in my soul. I do. I have seen some of the stuff that these preachers do in these churches, and it comes off very, very, very narcissistic. Yeah, it really does. Some of the sermons that they give, some of the stuff that they say, some of the stuff that they do. Now, I'm gonna flip this coin on two sides real quick. I want to say what Jamal Bryant did was narcissistic when he got up and said what he said. But at the same time, he was defending his wife. So that's kind of like a two-edged sword. I don't know how to... It came off kind of narcissistic because he knew when he got up and said what he said that everybody in the church was going to be like, yes, amen, say that. He knew that when he got up and said what he said. So that's why I said it was somewhat narcissistic. But at the same time, he was defending his wife. And I felt like his wife needed to be defended. So yeah, I'm going to have to get back to y'all on that. But narcissists, okay? That's what we're talking about tonight. And I want to get into the narcissistic relationship cycle. Narcissistic relationships are predictable, which is why awareness is powerful. And if you've had a conversation with me about somebody in your life and I told you they were a narcissist, I probably told you some of the behaviors that they would exhibit, and more than likely they have exhibited those behaviors. I'm pretty good about spotting a narcissist. Like when I say I done dove deep, I done dove so deep, I had to find my way back. Like I had did a deep, deep dive. I dove so deep, my therapist said he thinks I know more about narcissism than he does. That's deep. Okay? They are very predictable. If you know the signs and the symptoms of narcissism, if you can spot a narcissist, if you know what to look for, you will be able to find them by having a short conversation with them. That is how predictable they are. That is how predictable they are. I know some of y'all are commenting and I can't see some of the comments. My screen is cracked. Okay, here we go. I'm dealing with two different devices, y'all. Okay, so here are the signs of a narcissistic relationship. Y'all ready? Love bombing. And I'm going to get to, let me tell y'all what the definition of love bombing is, because I got definitions and all that. Love bombing. Love bombing creates an intense emotional bond very quickly. You feel seen, chosen, special, and sometimes even spiritually connected. This level of intensity will bypass your discernment. It is so intense and happens so fast. Your brain will not say something is wrong with them. It will automatically say something must be wrong with me because I feel like this. And the intensity that you feel is not intimacy. Love bombing is love bombing really fast. Usually in the first 2 or 3 conversations, you will catch love bombing. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Gaslighting. Gaslighting slowly teaches you not to trust your own mind. A lot of people that have dealt with a narcissist will tell you, I felt like I was crazy. And the reason they felt like that was because the gaslighting was so heavy that they no longer trusted their own thought and opinion about the situation. Gaslighting is the loss of self-trust. When someone repeatedly denies your experience, when someone repeatedly denies what you're telling them is true and minimizes your feelings, they rewrite your reality and you begin to question your memory, your emotions, and sometimes even your faith. Once the trust is shaken, it becomes easier to control. So over time, the most damaging question ends up being, can I trust myself? So this is what I want to tell y'all about love bombing and gaslighting because they usually go hand in hand. Usually while you're being love bombed, you're being gaslit. And the reason is because the love bombing is happening so fast, the emotional attachment is happening so fast, they have to gaslight you as well so that you're losing trust in yourself while you're being love bombed. So, an example of gaslighting would be, I had this happen. So now we're going to get into some personal shit. An example of gaslighting would be, my ex left his phone at home one day, and I went through his phone because he had 2 phones, and what could possibly be in the other phone, right? So I went through his phone, and I sent some text messages to his baby mama. And they weren't like sexting or anything like that, but the text messages were not just about the kids. So I asked him about it, and he literally tried to make me feel like what I read was not what I read. He basically was telling me I couldn't believe what I read in the text message. That is gaslighting 101. When you start seeing things and they start telling you that is not real, that is not your reality, a narcissist will try to convince you that green grass is purple and a blue sky is black. They will try to convince you of everything but the truth, because once you no longer have a grasp on the truth, they can control the situation. Okay. Idealization. Idealization feels good at first. You're praised, you're evaluated, elevated, you're admired, you're being loved on, you're being given all of the good things, but it's for an image. Narcissists are big on how things look to the outside, how things look on the outside. A narcissist loves to have a clean image. So they set you up for failure. First of all, they'll always set you up for failure. What the idealization is, it's identity confusion. So they'll praise you, they'll elevate you, they'll admire you, they will do all these good things and tell you how great you are just to pull the rug from up under you later on and have you emotionally confused. It's very personal. It's not just about the relationship, it's very personal. And once it happens, it's a point of you don't just miss the person that you thought, that you are with, you miss the person that you thought you were with. Um, and let's talk about devaluation. Devaluation is emotional erosion. It's where the confusion gets deeper at in these situations. Criticism increases, affection decreases. You're trying harder, they're trying less. You're trying to get back where y'all once were, what felt so good, the part of the relationship that you knew. And they are literally pushing you away. This is the stage that trains people to believe that love must be earned through abandonment. So basically, after you've been praised and elevated and admired and all of these things, this is where the person starts breaking you down. Because where you were once this amazing person that they love, now you the motherfucker they don't want to wake up to no more. You're the person that is the source of all their problems. And this is where you start trying to fix things. They're giving you the problem and you're trying to fix it, but literally there's no problem there. I want y'all to know that. Discarding and hovering, which is trauma bonding. Now, trauma bonding happens on so many levels. It is not just with narcissists. Trauma bonding happens on so many levels. And I really do want people that are trauma bonded together to understand and recognize that there's a trauma bond going on there and that they need a break from each other. So trauma bonding is a discard that creates shock and abandonment trauma. This is where before, if you've watched me talk about narcissism, I called this the cycle of abuse. It's when they discard you, they abandon you, they leave you, they go do something else, and now you trying to figure out what happened, what did you do, what part did you play in this, how did you go wrong, and then out of nowhere they reappear with an apology, a gift, a promise, some more gaslighting, some more love bombing. And this cycle does not heal you. It reopens the wound and pours salt in it. So every time they abandon you and come back and abandon you and come back and abandon you and come back, it is a circle of abuse that creates a trauma bond. Let me tell y'all something. That trauma bond is some shit, okay? When you get trauma bonded to a person, y'all don't know how to leave each other alone, okay? Even in the midst of everything going on, y'all don't know how to leave each other alone. Let me give y'all some clinical definitions of some of these things I just talked about. Love bombing. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic where excessive affection, attention, praise, or promises are given early or intensely in a relationship to create emotional attachment. Rapid emotional or spiritual intimacy. Grand promises with no consistency, no backup plan, none of that. So that's what love bombing is. When people start telling you on the second date, you're my soulmate, that's love bombing. Yeah, yeah. Let's get to the next one. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone causes you to doubt your memory, perception, emotions, or reality in order to gain control or avoid their own accountability. So when somebody tells you it never happened, or you're too sensitive, or you're crazy, you're imagining things, that's not what I meant, anything that will create self-doubt and confusion and a loss of your confidence. That is what gaslighting is. Um, idealization. Idealization occurs when someone places you on a pedestal, viewing you as perfect, exceptional, unique, chosen, early in the relationship. Early in the relationship. Um, they might tell you you're different from everybody else, or you're special, or you're chosen. And this creates an image of you that you are expected to maintain that no human can maintain. That way, it's easier to snatch the rug from up under you. Devaluation is the gradual or sudden shift from admiration to criticism, withdrawal, or emotional neglect once control or attachment has been established. Increased criticism, dismissiveness, withholding affection, etc., etc. The abandonment stage. Anything that makes you feel confused, shame, anxiety, any of those things. Um, discard. Discard occurs when someone abruptly withdraws, abandons, or emotionally cuts you off after devaluation, often without closure or explanation. It looks like sudden silence or somebody trying to replace you, or punishment through abandonment. If you're suddenly abandoned, that's probably what's going on. Yeah. Hovering is an attempt to pull you back into the relationship after the discard. Or if you draw a boundary and they attempt to draw you back into the relationship. That's what hovering is. And it kind of looks like apologies without change behavior. That's the best way to say it. Apologies without change behavior. And we just want people to learn some of these things so that they can identify when they are dealing with a narcissist. We want that to be the main purpose of this conversation, is to bring awareness to the conversation. There are more narcissistic people out there than y'all actually know that y'all be dealing with. Some of y'all bosses are narcissists. It's just a lot of different things that go on. I want to talk about supply. That's something I never talked about before. Is the narcissistic supply. Types of narcissistic supply. So I want to get on that really, really quick. I got a little bit of time. So we're going to get to it. I got notes, y'all. Let me scroll through my notes. And hopefully we can get to how to draw boundaries. We want to draw some boundaries tonight. So narcissistic supply is anything that feeds a person's need for validation, control, admiration, or emotional reaction. Nothing is about love. It is about regulation. So, simply attention, admiration, control, emotional reactions, positive or negative, are what narcissistic supply is. And the types of supply is what I really, really, really want to get into. I really hope this helps y'all right here. Because if you have a narcissist in your life, no matter how close you are to them or how far of an acquaintance you are to them, you play some type of supply in their life. And I want people to be able to identify what supply is, so that if you are somebody's supply, you can be able to identify and deal with it. So the first type of supply is the primary supply. And this is usually your romantic partner or your spouse. And it seems like I've always been the narcissist's primary supply. I have fallen into the secondary supply category as well, which is friends, church, co-workers, social media. That's secondary supply. It's hard to work with a coworker because they want your attention, they want your admiration. I'm not gonna get into that because then I have to start naming names. A positive supply is praise, admiration, and affection. So sometimes you become a positive supply and don't even know it. A negative supply is arguments, tears, and emotional breakdowns. And a narcissist will drive you to this because any type of supply is supply, whether y'all are having a good time or a bad time. And then there's control-based supply, which is silence, fear, and confusion. Usually this stems from a physically abusive relationship. What people don't realize is every bit of your happiness or your pain feeds a narcissist supply. Have you ever been in conflict with somebody and it seemed like the angrier you got, the more relieved they got, or the happier they got, the more energized they got by the conflict? Have you ever been friends with somebody and your peace in the relationship feels like the threat? And sometimes you don't want to be too peaceful because that brings a problem. Most people who become supply are empathetic. A narcissist's best friend is an empath. An empath's worst enemy is a narcissist. They like loyalty, faith, confidence in them, the fact that you will continuously forgive. If you're emotionally intelligent and they crack that code, they will. Your compassion is not a problem. The exploitation from the narcissist is the problem. Have you ever gave somebody something that wasn't returned? And when you asked for it back, it caused a conflict? You might have been feeding a supply and did not know it. And I want to talk about the impact of victims when it comes to a narcissist. I got 20 minutes. Okay. Emotional exhaustion, a loss of identity, hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is when you want to do things before you are asked. Confusion, spiritual distortion, things that put you in a situation where you're asking, are you the problem? If you realize that you're changing, then this is where drawing boundaries come in. Now, if you want to piss a narcissist off, draw some boundaries, damn it. A narcissist don't like for you to draw boundaries. They do not. Hold on, because I got something to help us draw boundaries tonight. Narcissists hate boundaries because they expose their entitlement and they remove control from the situation. So boundaries require accountability. Boundaries are not rejection. They are stewardship. You are stewarding them out of your personal space. You are escorting them out of your mental space. You are stewarding them out of your emotional space, and you are clearing path to draw that boundary, to learn how to say no, to learn how to stop things before it starts to affect you. The psychological effects are anxiety, depression, loss of identity, hypervigilance, trauma bonding. And the narcissist abuse affects the mind, body, spirit, soul. It affects every part of you. Sometimes spiritually, you get confused about God's voice. You get distorted about theology and the Bible. You get distorted about forgiveness. You fear boundaries. Listen, we got to learn how to draw boundaries, y'all. We do. Because as I'm reading this, I read through this, but as I'm reading it again, and I'm sitting here discussing it, it's just making me think about a whole bunch of different things. The nervous system is impacted by the relationship with a narcissist. You get chronic stress response. You become a fight, flight, or freeze person, or you become emotionally numb or exhausted. You were in a relationship and you trusted, and your trust was broken, and that happens. But with a narcissist, it makes you feel different. It makes you feel like you're the problem. Literally, it makes you feel like you're the problem. Whew. So, it has 3 tactics on here that you can use to draw boundaries, and I recommend the last 2, not the first one. The first one is called Gray Rock, where you give minimal emotional response. The second one is low contact, which I always recommend. If you've had a conversation with me, you know I always tell people, if you have to, go low contact. No contact. That way your sanity is not at risk. I have some people in my life that I have went no contact with. I have some people in my life that I have went low contact with. I'm at a point now where I have to wash out and scrub out all of the toxic people around me. It's crazy when you have to identify toxic friends. This deep dive on narcissism has really been an eye opener for me. It has really helped me to identify some people in my life that were toxic, some toxic friends, some toxic acquaintances. Yeah, just toxic people around me. And I'm not one to say a person is jealous. I don't use the word narcissist freely. I don't throw that word around. If you hear me say somebody is a narcissist, it's because I genuinely sat down, had a couple conversations with them, have peeped out their personality, and been able to discern that they are a narcissist. One of my prayers that I constantly pray is that God show me who the narcissists are, to keep that veil off of my eyes so that I can see who the narcissists are around me. I've been affected by narcissists on a level where it's hard to talk about sometimes. That's why this time I went a little more clinical and a little more educational with this topic than personal. In therapy, I've learned that I've dealt with a lot of narcissistic men. I was married to a narcissist, and I really hate to say that, because he's a sweet guy, but he has a lot of narcissistic, toxic traits. My last relationship was with the narcissist. I had to go like low contact with these people. It's another man in my life that's a narcissist, and that has been interesting to uncover, because for a long time I just thought he might have been arrogant or overly confident, or I wasn't sure what the problem was, but he is a narcissist. And I want to have a conversation with him because I know that his narcissism trickled down from other people before him. Like, he was raised by a narcissist. And it's hard to have these conversations with people, but yeah, like, I be wanting to tell people, like, yeah, your daddy's a narcissist, or your mama's a narcissist, or your sister's a narcissist, but people use this word and they throw it around so much that when I use it, people kind of look at me sideways. Now, I do have some people in my circle, some people around me, some people that I talk to that will tell you I am almost 100% when it comes to talking about dealing with a narcissist. One of my friends, I hope she's still watching. I ain't gonna call her name. I just hope she's still watching. Um, she and I have a friend in common, and when we talked about him one day, and I said that he was a narcissist, and she agreed, that let me know that she knew what a narcissist was. And she hit on some points and some pinpoints. And yeah, like, narcissism will have you up at night praying and looking at the ceiling, asking God, what is wrong with you? Because you know you're not going crazy. Narcissism will have you talking to the Lord about things that you didn't even feel like you needed to talk to the Lord about. But when you deal with a narcissist, they get in your head, they get in your brain, they get in your mind. It's something so deep. And if y'all are trauma bonded, oh my God. Now I'm gonna just get personal. I got 10 minutes. Me and my ex were trauma bonded. And I think to a certain extent we still are. Because for some reason, we still talk. We don't want to be with each other. I have identified he is a narcissist. I have told him he is a narcissist. I have explained to him when he's gaslighting, when he's love bombing, so he know that shit don't ride with me. But somehow we trauma bonded. So we cannot talk for 6 months and then we're going to have a 2-hour conversation. I know part of that comes from us having mutual friends and sharing parts of life together. So it's things that I know that nobody else know and vice versa. So I know that kind of goes with it. But listen, that trauma bond is real. Like, if I wouldn't have went to therapy, me and this man would probably still be on the merry-go-round, going round and round in circles in a relationship that we knew was toxic. We both pointed out was toxic. But neither one of us wanted to let it go. And at some point, I stepped away and got my ass together. Because, yeah, life shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be living in that toxicity and that trauma and just all the BS that it brings. It brings a lot of BS. First of all, when you're dealing with a narcissist and they have, I'm telling you, if you have a narcissist as a spouse, as a boyfriend, a girlfriend, if you have a narcissist that you're in a relationship with, you might as well go ahead and get yourself ready to meet who the other supply is, because it's not going to be one of y'all. Usually, a narcissist has several people that they're probably dealing with. You very, very, very rarely find a narcissist that is faithful, because they all about themselves. They don't care how you feel. So if they want to go out and sleep with 10 motherfuckers, they want you to be there when they come home and not say nothing about it and act like it didn't happen. And if you say something about it, that's fine. They're going to gaslight you and tell you all night that's not what they was doing. They will tell you they were out working a job. They will gaslight the hell out of you. I got stories, y'all. I have stories about narcissism. But I don't want to air this man out and I already aired him out on my show a couple times. Narcissists will cry at the drop of a dime. And let me tell you why. Because they have to play the victim. And you know, I named 4 kinds of narcissists. But let me tell y'all something. If you find a person that shares qualities of all 4 traits, all 4 types of narcissism, you in for it. You in for a doozy. They finna give you a run for your money, baby. They gonna give you a run for your money. They gonna try to do everything in the book with that love bombing. My ex was going to church when he was trying to be the man I needed. He was going to church with me and trying to give this happy couple look. And that man probably ain't stepped foot in the church house since the last time he went to church with me. But that's what he was doing to try to act like he wanted to be the man I wanted. One thing I could tell you about a narcissist, and this is from experience, and I'm telling you, this is the worst. If you with a narcissist and you tell a narcissist, I don't like the way you do this, that, the third, and the fourth, and this is early in the relationship, they're going to change and become the person that you want them to become because they have to do that to get your trust. And then, once they got you, they going to break you all the way back down. All the way back down. And you're not even going to recognize the person that you are with. Anyways, it's time to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Couch Conversations. I genuinely appreciate it. If you would like more information about narcissism, I have it printed out. I can email it to you. Let me know if y'all want to do y'all own narcissism deep dive. Make sure you tune in for the 5th annual DMEG block party, June 13th, 2026, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. in West Covina. We want to have artists, creatives, media, vendors. We want you to come from wherever you at and come be a part of this event. This is going to be leading up to the Indie Artist Conference. So y'all will get some more information about the Indie Artist Conference at the block party. We still have spots available. We still have artist spots available. We still have vendor spots available. So tap in. I will have to redo the website page. So it'll be up tomorrow where you can go on and register to become a vendor or an artist. If you need a VIP table, make sure you check that out. The Eventbrite tickets will go on sale probably next month. I have a couple things I got to do before I can post that link. So yeah, we're excited for everybody that's coming out. We have media coming out from a couple different states. So if you're trying to get some exposure somewhere where you are not, you might want to come out and talk to some of these media outlets and let them take you home with them so that you can be known in another state. We are having host Black Thompson, which I'm excited about. Black is so hilariously funny. And we have gospel headliner Madeline Mosley Newton. My brain is moving faster than my mouth. I'm excited about having her, and she gonna come and tell us it's already worked out. She know that's my song. We're gonna be moaning and oohing. So y'all come on out, Madeline Mosley. Y'all already know Annie's Tacos is gonna be there. Annie's Kitchen, but y'all know she got the tacos. So we gonna have her there as well. Y'all know that's my girl, and I gotta have her at every event. We got our bartender locked in, which I will start promoting next week. Shout out to Nerd Visuals, Denier Lane will be coming from St. Louis is our videographer. Danni did our first 2 events, and I love the footage, so I need Danni to come back. We got so many people that's coming out to perform. I'm gonna start letting y'all know some of the artists that will be there that are registered already. If you have not returned your registration sheet, you might want to get that to me ASAP so we can get your flyer going. Shout out to Deshaun Potts, aka the Eastside Walker. He will be making a special appearance. I'm pretty sure y'all been seeing this man on my page, but he has been viral on every platform, and God put us together. So y'all gonna get to see what he got going on. Y'all gonna get to learn more about him. We're actually gonna try to get him on the couch one night, and y'all can learn more about him and his story. And y'all think he just sea walk, but he don't. He's actually a dancer. So yeah, shout out to the bond servants that will be there. Shout out to the bond servants. Shout out to everybody. Okay, shout out to everybody. If you want to be on the block party, you're gonna need to let me know ASAP. Pneumatic will be there. Y'all love that live band. Y'all be hollering where my son at with the band, where Andrew at with the band. So the band gonna be there. Okay, you got the band coming. Y'all hollering where my nephews at. Nephews, are y'all where y'all at? I know Anthony Gates gonna be there. Anthony Gates, he always there. He don't miss. He don't fail. He don't let me down. I'm trying to get Trig, so we gonna see if we can get Trig out. Y'all love my nephews, baby Jay. We gonna see if we can get him out. All right. But I love y'all, and I appreciate everybody that's been supporting. I hope this helps somebody. I hope that you were able to get a little awareness. I don't even know if I finished talking about boundaries or not. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna want to hit this subject again. So if I didn't, I apologize. But like I said, I got the printout. If you need it in your hand, let me know. You can come pick it up, or I can mail it to you, or I can email it to you. I don't mind sharing information. This is for awareness. And if you really want to get into it, I'm working on the Narcissism 101 workshop, and we are going to have some people come in and let y'all know more about narcissism. And my book will be done by then, and I'll be telling my story. I know y'all have heard some of it here on the show, but we're going to get a really deep into it and get personal and talk about narcissism. This is going to be a repeated subject with me until I can bring awareness to this to the point that the people around me can acknowledge and identify when they have a narcissist around them. So yeah, thank y'all. And if you would like to be in touch with Couch Conversations, just shoot me an email right there, couchconversationslive@gmail.com. You can also catch me on Instagram at Couch Conversations Live, Facebook at Couch Conversations DMEG. We there, Couch Conversations Live. The web, if you would like to hit us up on the website, divinemanagement.weebly.com. It is DVINE, no DI, DV, Divine Management. And you can subscribe on YouTube at The Real Danni Gyrl. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube because that's where all the exclusive content goes. And I have some that I need to get out. Yeah, so make sure you go subscribe on YouTube. If you're already on YouTube and you're watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button and join us back here next week. Y'all know what? I'm gonna start getting into some conversations outside of Thursday. So when y'all ready, y'all let me know, and we're gonna have some couch conversations, just some random pop-up couch conversations, okay? Danni Gyrl Show returns Tuesday, February 10th at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please download the Podbean app so that you can stream it live. It comes on Tuesday night, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And also, you can submit your music to therealdannigirl@gmail.com if you want to get it played on the show. We also have the top 5 countdown, which right before we come back, I will share the text number for that on the show so y'all can text y'all votes. And I'm excited to get back into radio. I had to just go one thing at a time and see how my knee was going to adjust to different positions I was sitting in. So today I'm sitting here and I have my knee up on the ottoman. Y'all can't see it. Last week I was just sitting in the chair regular in front of the table. But today I have it up on the ottoman. I've been having some swelling and some couple little issues today. So I'm be back, y'all, next month. I promise. So send y'all music in. If you have any questions, any suggestions, you would like to be on the show, you just want to bug me, I don't know, text me, 702-578-6716. And I'm going to tell y'all this because apparently y'all don't know this because y'all be going through rivers and oceans to get my phone number. Danielle is on Google, okay? You can Google Danni Barnes, Danni Barnes. You can Google Danni Gyrl, DanngyRl. I seen it was trending Danni Gyrl with an I. I don't know why. But yeah, Gyrl. Y'all can Google me. Okay, my number is not private. It's my business number. It is where my business is registered to. So if you find me, you find my business on Google, the number is there. It's on Yelp. It's on Google. It's on Manta. It's on 25 other sites. I am public. Okay, when I say I'm a public figure, I mean that. So y'all can Google me. You could find me through AI. You could type my name in AI. It'll give you my phone number. Like, I'm not hard to find, y'all. Y'all be talking about y'all couldn't get my number. You was calling 55 people to see who had it. Nah, just put my name in Google. Okay, same phone number. It don't change. If you have my number in Vegas, it's the same number. I have not changed it since I left Vegas. Okay, join us next Thursday at 8 p.m. for the topic politics and the pulpit. Also, join us January 29th at 8 p.m. with special guest Lou Dowdy of Lou Productions. And if you watch Couch Conversations, you're going to know something that nobody else knows because I'm not putting it on a flyer. So y'all just listen up because I'll announce it until she gets here. In November, I missed being honored at Lou's show. So Lou, being a dear, is going to come and we're going to have a chat and she's going to give me my award on the show. We're going to talk to her about Lou Productions. We're going to talk to her about the West Coast Cypher and all the things that she has going on. She's very big in the San Bernardino community. I've been knowing her now since before Andrew graduated high school. So that's been about 11 or 12 years. And she's actually somebody that I looked up to getting into the game. So shout out to Lou and I appreciate her. She's going to be here. Make sure y'all are back February the 6th, I believe it is. Let me double check. February, we will be here with Jay. Make sure you tune in for that. He will be coming to talk to us about his newest project and some things that he has going on as well. So yeah, we got a nice block of guests for y'all. But next week I want to talk about pulpit politics in the pulpit. This is something that I had started last season with my Taboo Church series, and I had 2 episodes left, so we're gonna get to them in this season. This is episode 7 of the series. 5 of the series. I think it's episode 4 or 5 of the series. So we're gonna get into it, and I hope that y'all are back for that. I really, really hope that y'all are back for that. So yeah, we thank y'all for tuning in. If you would like to show your support, you have the information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. I see y'all been popping in and out. I appreciate y'all. For everybody that's going to watch this after I go off live and come back and comment and tag me to stuff, I appreciate you watching too. I know y'all be forgetting to come on at 8 o'clock, even though I be sending y'all the messages. I know y'all be forgetting, but it's okay. We're going to get it together and we're going to all get on one accord and we're going to come together with the show. But thank y'all for watching late. I appreciate it. I appreciate the views whenever you watch. Y'all make sure y'all back next week. And make sure y'all back the week after that and the week after that. We got 3 good shows in a row. And then I'm still booking y'all. If you want to be on in February, let me know. And we'll get you on the show. And thank y'all for everything. I'm done. Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to tell y'all, since we was on the couch tonight, I wore my pajamas. Okay. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And as I tell y'all always, peace and have a divine night. See y'all later.